Hey, welcome boys and girls, and welcome to Project 16. Now the last two projects we were talking about monsters, and this project we're going to talk about monsters too. This will be the last project of our monster unit. And what we're going to do is we're going to create 3D monsters, which are sculptures. And you can see some examples right here. You can see that they're pretty neat. We use construction paper, and we use construction paper scraps. Now, the thing, if you're at school, I'll have all that material, but you say, Mr. N, I'm not at school. I don't have this construction paper. Well, it still can be made with notebook paper, okay? Now, one of the things, four things that you're probably going to need. You're going to need at least a pair of scissors. If you have glue, I hope you have glue. If not, tape can work, and a stapler can work too. Because basically you're going to take your paper, and we will experiment with the notebook paper, okay? So you say, well, Mr. N, all I have is notebook paper. So you pull it out. Generally, you cut the holes off like this, you see. Now you're going to turn your paper, this is vertical, we're going to turn it horizontal. And you're going to make a tube. Now, you can glue this tube together. You can staple it together if you have a stapler, or you can tape it together. Just for speed's sakes, I'm just going to staple it real quick since I've got my stapler here. One. Usually 2 or 3 staples will do the trick. Right here. Now, if you look at these monsters, they all have mouths that have been cut. And even the notebook paper one. And you say, well, how do I do that, Mr. N? Well, you take your cylinder, and you can take a marker and just draw like the letter V on there. But don't go all the way to the back. You have to stop like that. And then you're going to take your scissors, and you're going to cut on that line. You see I'm cutting like this, and there you go. You've got your mouth, okay? But remember, I didn't cut all the way, because if you cut all the way, your thing will come apart, okay? So you say, well, Mr. N, these are really cool, but I don't have any construction paper scraps at my house. If you do, try to use them. But you don't need scraps, because all you have to do, I'm sure you should have colors. Hopefully you have crayons, or markers, or maybe even paint. I know some of you guys at home have paint. So let's say I'm going to give this guy 2 horns. So I'm going to take another piece of paper and I'm going to fold it in half, okay? Fold it in half like this. And I'm going to I'll take my marker. Let's see. You know what? I want red horns. So I'm going to draw. I'm going to come here and I'm going to draw a horn. And you say, well, Mr. N, you need 2 horns. Well, see what I do. I folded the paper, you see where, and I cut on the lines. Cutting. Now, when I open it up, I've got 1 big horn. But I can cut right where I folded it, and I have 2 horns. Now they're white, so don't forget you can take this white paper, and I'm going to color. Now, I'm going to kind of color fast. You can take your time, because I want to get this so you guys can see. So I'm going to color kind of fast. This is kind of scribble scrabble, which I usually tell you not to do, so you can slow down. But I'm going to do this fast because this is an example, and I want you to see how you can put this together. Okay. And I'm going to color this one too. Let's see. Oh yeah, color on this. No, it doesn't matter what side I color on. Because well, maybe it does. Maybe it does. Oh yeah. Sometimes I get confused. Mr. N gets confused. So I'm coloring the horns. Here we go. Now, if you're doing that at school and you have construction paper and you have scraps, then you don't have to color it because you'll have them. Now, a lot of students say, okay, Mr. N, I'm going to put the horn on. But wait, let's see. Make sure, did I color the right side? Sometimes, there's one over here. Oh no, I'm going to have to, we'll see. I'm kind of confused. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have one horn up and one horn down. Now, you're going to say, Mr. N, how do I glue this on there? Well, first of all, you're going to have to fold a flap. Anytime, see this little flap right here? Okay. So I'm going to take my glue, if you got a glue stick, or let's see, I've got to open my glue. Should have been prepared. And here we go. Is my glue not coming out? Oh, come on, glue. Sorry, boys and girls. I don't know why it's not coming out. Oh, there we go. Did that come out? Oh, I gotta get. Well, I'm gonna have to do it like this. Mr. N should have tested his glue before he got started. So, I take the glue, and you see the flap. Well, I'm going to glue the horn on the flap on the back side so you don't see it. All right? And you have to hold it, usually about 10 seconds. You know, because sometimes if you don't, it'll fall off. There it is. And I'm going to have this horn going down. So I have one horn going up, one going down. So I have to fold the flap again. I fold the flap. And I'm going to put glue on it. Oops, don't put too much. I know some of you have heard from your teachers, just a dot, not a lot. So I'm going to put this on here too. And I got to hold it for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And it's stuck. Now, he's got some horns. He needs some eyes. Now, you can, here again, you got your scrap paper. I am going to get my marker, and I am going to draw one big eye, because I like cyclopses. And then I'm going to draw like this, put a black dot in the center, and I'm going to color his eye green. We have a green eye. So I'm going to color it green. Go. Color it green. All right. Got to cut it out. Now, here again, we're going to use our glue. Now, if you don't have any glue at home, one thing you can do is you can just color on your monster. You have to kind of fold him, lay him down on the table, but you can color. But I'm going to take my glue, and I'm going to put this big green eyeball in the middle. All right. Okay. Now, there's all kinds of things you can do. You see that this has got polka dots. He's got a little beard. He's got teeth. I'm going to do something, and first you're going to say, what are you doing, Mr. N? I am going to take my blue, and I've got this scrap piece of paper, and I am just going to do this. I'm going to just start coloring this all blue. It's like a long rectangle, and you're like, what the heck are you doing, Mr. N? It's just a blue rectangle. What are you going to do with it? Well, you're going to see in a second. And here again, just with my notebook paper. And I'm kind of scrabble, because it doesn't really matter, because when you see what I'm going to do with this, you're going to understand. All right, we're pretty much done. Now, I'm going to cut this out. And I'm going to cut this right here. And then I'm going to do this. I'm going to cut slits in it. I am going to give him some hair. Okay, I can put it on the inside. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the bottom right here. Okay. And put it on the inside. Now I could have it go all the way around if you wanted to. You could add more here for the back, but most of the time you're going to see the front. So, and you can play with this. You can bend it down if you want to. Bending it down where it kind of looks like it's sticking down, or you can get a pencil and curl it. But he's kind of like he's got all this crazy hair. Okay, there you go. It's all like that. Now there's a lot more I can do to him. I can give him teeth. I can give him spots or stripes, because you see this one's got spots and stripes. He's got a little beard, and I cut out little teeth. Here again, this is all notebook paper. I just colored the scraps and then cut them out and glued them. You see I glued the teeth on the inside. I glued some arms, okay? I glued the eyes. I glued spikes on top right here. And that was all done with notebook paper, boys and girls. You don't have to have, now if you've got access to all these scraps, you can see I did orange curly hair and pink spots and a long tongue and teeth. And on this one, you know, if we turn him sideways, you can see he's like a mohawk with a yellow stripe. And he's got these kind of ears or horns that are sticking out. He's got arms. He's got a blue tongue. He's got these really strange sharp teeth. And he's got these black stripes all over him. And then this one's kind of nice because he's got, looks like little pink eyes, yellow eyes that stick up to the top, little whiskers, big buck teeth, some stripes, a big orange spot. And so you can do so much, even if you don't have construction paper. If you just have notebook paper, see, there's a lot more that can be added to this and stuff. So, you know, use your imagination. Remember, you're going to need to have at least glue or a stapler or tape and some scissors. Now this is a toilet bowl roll, and you could do that too here if you have one of these at home. You just cut the V like this, but don't go all the way, okay? You got to stop and then cut right here, and look, you got a mouth too. Now he's kind of little, but if you want to make a little baby monster, you certainly can do that. So basically I started this one, I haven't finished it, so there's a lot more you can do to this, okay? But these are three-dimensional forms. In art, when you hear the word form, you're talking about 3D. And they're sculptures because you can grab them and hold them. A sculpture is something that you can grab and hold, a three-dimensional object. So I hope you have fun with our last project dealing with monsters. You know, these guys are hello. So use your imagination and be creative. And I look forward to seeing what you're going to create. Bye-bye.